The hospital lobby breathed cold air and fluorescent light. Monitors pinged. A vending machine hummed a single note, and the automatic doors kept coughing up new weather. Damp coats, wheeled suitcases, gossip, anxiety. In the middle of it all, Amara stood very still, one hand flat against her sternum, the other gripping a slim leather folio like it was keeping her upright. "Ma'am, take a seat," the triage attendant said without looking up, fingers skittering across the keyboard. "Chest pain can be anxiety." The word anxiety hit the tile like a dropped coin. Heads turned. A couple on the couch paused their whisper fight. A teenage boy, already filming something at waist level, panned his phone toward Amara as if pulled by gravity. "It's not anxiety," Amara said, voice low, controlled. "It's substernal, radiating to my jaw. 8 out of 10. Someone in scrubs wheeled past, murmuring, "We need a bed for room 9. Stat," and disappeared through a door marked "Authorized Staff Only." The triage attendant reached for a standard-issue smile. "Rate your pain again," she said brightly. 8, Amara repeated. "With diaphoresis. Family history of early cardiac events. I'm 18. She took a breath that caught halfway. "I need an EKG." A man in a suit, too crisp for midnight emergencies, snorted near the coffee station. "How you kids in your web diagnosis?" He lifted his cup, took a careful sip, and looked at her over the lid with the lazy cruelty of someone who's sure the world will keep serving him. Behind him, a little girl tugged at her mother's sleeve. "Mom, she's shaking." The mother pressed her daughter closer. "Don't stare." Amara's hands weren't shaking. Not visibly. But sweat ticked down her temple, catching in the baby hairs at her hairline. She pressed her folio closer to her ribs. A small silver emblem on its corner flashed under the lights. No brand. Just an embossed crest of some kind no one recognized. The swinging doors sighed, and a doctor strode out, the kind of stride that tells a room who's in charge. He wore his white coat like a cape, his ID badge clipped high, his grin impatient and practiced. "All right, what have we got?" he said, scanning the waiting room like he might collect us all with a gesture. His eyes found Amara. "You symptoms." Amara inhaled. "Crushing chest pain, onset 40 minutes ago, nausea, light." He cut her off with a raised palm. "Sit. Young people don't have heart attacks. You're having a panic episode." Phones lifted in the room, not all at once, but like a wave traveling through quiet water. The teenage boy coughed to hide his excitement and angled for the doctor's face. A couple in winter coats exchanged the look of people who have seen this scene before and know how it ends. Amara didn't sit. "I triaged myself. I need a priority EKG and troponins, please." The doctor's smile slid an inch toward teeth. "Please," he mimicked softly, performing obedience for his audience, and it got the laugh he wanted from the man in the suit. "Look," he went on, "there are actual emergencies tonight. Gunshot, stroke, car wreck. We're not bypassing critical patients so you can practice being an adult." A ripple of laughter. Relieved and uncomfortable. A nurse at the desk bit her lip and glanced down, her eyes snagging on Amara's folio. "Doctor," she started. He didn't turn. "Put her under observation if she keeps insisting," he said, already pivoting toward a rattling gurney emerging from the corridor. "Vitals every 30 minutes. She'll be fine." Amara's face didn't change. She pressed her fingers to the pulse point at her wrist, counted under her breath, recalculated. She knew what the numbers meant. Her heart was doing a slow drum solo just off the beat, missing the downstroke, and her skin knew it before the triage chart did. "Excuse me," she called after him. "Doctor." He paused, the gurney clattering to a stop as if the sound itself had caught on him. "There's also a murmur," she said. Now the room went quieter. Murmur was a word the lobby recognized. Not a fear word like collapse, but not theater either. Several phones lifted a few degrees higher. The doctor turned slowly, the performance of patience dissolving into something sharper. "And how do you know that?" "Because I've listened to it," Amara said. "Since I was 10. Something in her tone, the absence of tremor, the calibration of it, made the nurse look up again. The man in the suit rolled his eyes for show, but he didn't sip. The doctor gave an airy shrug. "You've listened to your own heart since you were 10. He smiled to the crowd now, inviting them to share the joke. "That's very introspective." "Stethoscopes," Amara said and moved. Not toward him, but toward the kiosk between them. The one with the digital sign-in and the laminated brochure pocket. She slid the folio down on its shelf with the same care people reserve for altars. You hear things when you have to. Her breath hitched again. She swallowed it back and straightened, eyes level. A woman in pink scrubs whispered to the nurse, "She looks clammy." The nurse nodded, already on her feet. "I'll grab a cuff." The doctor lifted a finger without looking at her. The finger meant, "Stand down." The finger meant, "This is mine, young lady," he said to Amara. "I'm not arguing with you." "Neither am I," Amara said. "I'm asking for the standard of care." That phrase had weight. Even in a room trained not to know the language, standard of care sounded like a key clicking in a lock. The teenage boy's phone caught the doctor's blink. He rearmed his smile. "Fine," he said. "Let's be thorough so you can relax." He moved to the terminal, the one all patients pretend isn't a portal to their innards, and typed Amara's name. The screen blinked, thought, asked a security question, and then the electronic record slid open. The doctor scanned lazily at first. Then the laziness went out of him. A muscle climbed his jaw like a small animal waking up. He touched the mouse with his whole hand now, not flicks of fingers but a grip. "Doctor," the nurse said gently, coming back with the blood pressure cuff. He didn't answer. He scrolled. On the screen, a banner toggled red. The man in the suit leaned in to see. "What, is she allergic to waiting?" "Sir," the nurse snapped without looking at him, and the room made a small appreciative sound, permission to be on her side. The doctor swallowed. He scrolled again, faster, like outrunning something. A second banner slid up beneath the first, then a third, the screen stacking warnings like bricks. The lobby buzz shifted. People weren't performing surprise now. They were learning it. "What's it say?" someone asked, and phones craned for angles. "It says," the nurse murmured, reading upside down from a respectful distance. "Flagged condition. Pronounced," said the woman in pink scrubs, voice flat. "Risk of sudden decompensation." The doctor reached for the back of the chair like he needed the furniture to keep him on the correct plane. Amara didn't step closer. She didn't do anything. She just existed, exactly where she'd been standing, with the patience of a person who kept receipts. The folio rested on the kiosk shelf, the silver emblem catching and releasing light. She placed her hand on it. Then, with a motion so small the cameras might miss it, she cracked the folio open 2 inches. Something gleamed inside, laminated edges and a cobalt seal, then disappeared again. Amara lifted her eyes to the doctor's and spoke softly enough that each word had to walk the remaining distance on its own. "You might want to read page 2, she smiled. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, bathing everything in sterile blue. The air tastes faintly of disinfectant and burnt coffee. A digital display flashes, wait time 3 hours. Someone groans. At the counter, Amara Daniels, 18, calm and composed despite the tremor in her hand, stands in line. She's tall, dark-skinned, elegant in her posture, like someone raised to keep her dignity no matter who tries to take it. Her left arm presses a slim black folio to her chest. Behind her, murmurs rise like static. Phones click awake. Nurse Tina, 20s, exhausted but trying, softly. Name? Amara Daniels. Nurse Tina. Symptoms: Amara crushing chest pain, radiating jaw pressure, sweating, shortness of breath. Nurse Tina, scale of 1 to 10? Amara 8. The nurse types. The keyboard clacks louder than it should. A few seats away, a middle-aged man in a business suit, Harold Mace, lets out a smug chuckle. Harold 8? Sweetheart, that's called stress. Maybe try breathing exercises. The crowd titters. Amara doesn't flinch. Amara: I'm not your sweetheart, sir, and I've been doing diaphragmatic breathing since age 12. She says it evenly, but the calm carries weight. Harold snickers. Well, maybe see a therapist. Not an ER. Nurse Tina. Mr. Mace, please. Phones raise again. One with a red case hovers near Harold's face. The sliding doors hiss open. Dr. Henderson, late 40s, strides in like a man who's never been corrected in public. His badge gleams under the light. Attending physician. Dr. Henderson. All right, folks, let's move. Who's next? Nurse Tina. Patient Daniels. Chest pain, possible cardiac involvement. Dr. Henderson. Possible, at her age. He walks up, clipboard in hand. Looks at Amara up and down. His smile's too smooth to be kind. Dr. Henderson, conteed. You sure it's not anxiety? Happens all the time with young women, especially when... He stops himself before saying something worse, but everyone knows what he meant. A low buzz fills the lobby. Someone whispers, "She doesn't look okay." Amara steadies her breathing. Amara, doctor, I know my body. I have a cardiac history. I'm requesting an EKG Dr. Henderson, smiling like it's a favor. And I'm requesting you sit down and relax. You're in good hands, Ms. Amara Daniels, Dr. Henderson. Right, Ms. Daniels. He turns to Nurse Tina. Dr. Henderson, Contide. Vital signs every 30 minutes. Observation only, Nurse Tina. But sir, Dr. Henderson. No buts. I've seen this pattern before. Panic mimics cardiac distress. Amara's vision swims for a moment. She steadies herself on the counter. Amara, doctor. With respect, if I were your daughter describing these symptoms, you'd order tests. Dr. Henderson, half laughs. You don't know my daughter. A ripple of laughter. Harold leans toward another bystander. Harold, they read too many web articles. Think they're doctors. Bystander, whispering. She's shaking, man. Harold, adrenaline. Drama queen syndrome. A small ping interrupts. Nurse Tina's monitor flashes BP. 9055, Nurse Tina. Her pressure's low. Dr. Henderson, faulty cuff. Recheck later. He moves to leave. Amara's hand rises slowly, halting him. Amara, doctor. The tone stops the room. Measured, controlled, not loud, but commanding. She sets her folio down on the desk. The silver emblem catches the sterile light. An unfamiliar crest engraved into the leather. Amara. There's also a murmur. Grade 2. Lower left sternal border, Dr. Henderson, skeptical. And you know that because, Amara, I'm a patient safety advocate. I've studied clinical auscultation since childhood. He laughs outright now. Dr. Henderson, of course you have. Listen, Miss Amara Daniels. Dr. Henderson. Yes, Daniels. You're not a doctor, Amara. Neither are you if you won't listen. The room gasps. Someone's phone camera clicks on. The doctor's jaw flexes. Dr. Henderson. Fine, you want to be thorough? Let's be thorough. He taps at his workstation. The monitor wakes up. Typing Daniels Amara, a moment. Loading bar. Then the screen flickers and something red flashes across it. Dr. Henderson's expression changes from mockery to confusion. Then to fear. He scrolls down. More red banners stack. Critical patient. Priority protocol authorization. Experimental research cardiac program. Level A access required. The nurse gasps softly. Nurse Tina. Sir. She's Dr. Henderson, dry-mouthed. Don't say it. Harold leans forward. What? What's it say? Dr. Henderson ignores him. His fingers tremble over the mouse. The screen flashes another banner. Authorized personnel, Dr. Amara Daniels. MD MPH Patient Safety Council. A silence rolls through the room. Nurse Tina, whispering. She's a doctor? Dr. Henderson, voice hollow. She's... Amara looks up slowly. The color has drained from her face, but her eyes burn steady. Amara. Now, Dr. Henderson. Shall we proceed with the EKG? He blinks. Amara, Contide. Or would you prefer I log the incident first? The nurse's mouth parts in shock. The crowd whispers, she's a doctor. She recorded it. Oh my God. Harold lowers his phone, suddenly very small in his seat. Amara gently opens the folio. Inside glints an official laminated ID, the same cobalt seal from the screen. Amara. You might want to read page 2. She smiles. The camera phones catch it, her calm composure against his pale face, before the entire room falls silent. The world has shifted. The ER corridor is a tunnel of white light and motion, stretchers rolling, intercoms buzzing, nurses darting like startled fish. But at its center, a single gurney moves slowly, deliberately. Amara Daniels lies on it, alert but pale, oxygen tubing grazing her cheek. Her black folio rests on her lap like a crown jewel under guard. Beside her, Nurse Tina pushes the gurney, jaw tight with quiet defiance. Behind them trails Dr. Henderson, coat unbuttoned now, stride uncertain, the authority vacuum palpable. Every staff member they pass glances up, recognizing the weight of what just happened in the lobby. NT. ER Bay 4 machines beep in soft syncopation. Amara is helped onto the bed. The air smells of antiseptic and metallic regret. Nurse Tina. I'll start your line, doctor. I mean, Ms. Amara's fine. Nurse Tina, amused whisper. You just shook the entire triage desk, Amara, smiling faintly. Sometimes it needs shaking. She inhales carefully. The tremor in her hands betrays exhaustion. Dr. Henderson stands frozen near the curtain, tablet clutched to his chest. His face is blank, but the silence around him is heavy enough to bend light. Amara opens her folio with steady fingers. Inside, forms, authorizations, letters on embossed letterhead. She slides one across the counter toward him. Amara. This outlines the research protocol. I'm a patient under the National Cardiac Resilience Initiative. All ER staff are required to follow standing orders. Dr. Henderson, flat defensive. That file wasn't labeled as active. Amara. That file updates every 48 hours through the ethics portal. The alert you ignored in triage? It pings that system. Nurse Tina looks between them, realization dawning. Nurse Tina, you designed that program. Amara. I helped. Data analysis and advocacy. A tense silence. Dr. Henderson. So this is... What? An undercover review? Amara, no, doctor. It's an emergency. Her voice is calm, but it cuts through him. INT control station. Same time a group of nurses huddle around a monitor showing Amara's EKG. The lines flutter. Skip a beat, then stabilize. Nurse number 2. She wasn't lying. ST elevation. Look, nurse number 3, they almost sent her home. Nurse number 2. Someone's in trouble. The gossip begins to spread through the halls like a controlled fire. INT Bay 4. Continuous Amara. Watches the monitor quietly. Her pulse steadies. Amara. You can page cardiology. Dr. Rousseau oversees my case. Dr. Henderson hesitates. Amara. I'd also recommend you flag the incident with the Patient Safety Council. Dr. Henderson, hoarse. That's you, Amara. It was until I needed a hospital. She turns her gaze toward the ceiling, a long breath, half pain, half triumph. INT. Staff hallway. Later, the door closes behind her bay. Henderson paces, phone pressed to his ear. Dr. Henderson, interphone. Yes, I'm aware of who she is now. No, I didn't. I wasn't. Look, the chart didn't flag. He stops. Through a small window, he can see Amara being examined by 2 cardiologists. She's speaking softly, directing them like a conductor guiding an orchestra. Her words are clipped, technical, but every gesture carries authority. She's no longer the patient. She's the standard dark cut to INT hospital cafeteria. Same night whispers ripple through staff tables. Orderly. Ta. That's her. The one from the research board? Orderly 2. She's the one who wrote the bias audit. The thing corporate ignored. Orderly 1, you're kidding. Orderly 2, smirking, not anymore. Phones vibrate. Screens light up with messages. ER meltdown. Henderson exposed. INT Bay 4, midnight. Amara sits upright, IV dripping beside her. A portable heart monitor hums at her side. Nurse Tina brings a small paper cup with pills. Nurse Tina, beta blocker. It'll slow your heart a bit, Amara. Thank you, Nurse Tina. You want to talk about it? Amara, what happened? Nurse Tina. No, what's going to happen next? Amara glances at the curtain, at the shadow of Henderson's silhouette pacing outside. Amara, policy will happen next. She leans back, voice soft but unshaken. Amara countered. Every bias audit, every ignored report. They think it's abstract. Numbers on a spreadsheet. Tonight it got a heartbeat. Nurse Tina. You mean yours, Amara? Exactly. INT a corridor. Dawn, the overnight staff changes. New nurses wheel in breakfast trays. Our janitor hums gospel under his breath. At the far end, Chief of Medicine, Dr. Vera Klein, 50s, regal, enters flanked by administrators. Her shoes echo like punctuation. Dr. Klein. Where is she? Nurse Tina Bay 4. Dr. Klein nods. Her eyes cut briefly toward Henderson. Slouched on a bench, face gray. Dr. Klein to him, quietly. I read the report. I also watched the footage. Henderson blinks. Dr. Henderson footage. Dr. Klein, the public one. Half the lobby filmed it. She turns to go. Dr. Klein, Conti D. You'll want counsel present when I debrief. INT. Bay 4. Morning light. Soft sunlight creeps through the high window. Amara sits up straighter. Dressed in a clean hospital gown, laptop open on the tray table. She's typing. Calm, methodical Nurse Tina. You're working already? Amara, if I'm awake, I'm useful. She finishes typing and clicks send. Nurse Tina. What was that? Amara, the incident report. To the board. A beat. Nurse Tina. You're not afraid? Amara, afraid? No, I just prefer silence before impact. She closes her laptop. The click sharp as a gavel. Int admin conference room 1 hour later, the chief of medicine, legal counsel, and a few hospital board members sit around a long table. Henderson stands at one end, tie undone. A TV screen glows behind them, paused footage from a cell phone video. Amara in the lobby, standing tall, saying, "Shall we proceed with the EKG?" Dr. Klein, "So that's your panic episode?" Henderson opens his mouth, then closes it. Dr. Klein, "You didn't just dismiss a patient. You dismissed a council member, a partner. Legal counsel. We'll have to review policy exposure, potential discrimination claim. Media risk is Dr. Klein, not media. Morality." Her gaze flicks to the window where Amara's bed is visible in the courtyard below. Dr. Klein, can't D. We build systems meant to save lives. Tonight one saved itself from us int. Bay 4 shortly after Amara scrolls her phone. Notifications bloom. Tweets, headlines. Patient safety advocate hospitalized after bias incident. Doctor ignored symptoms. Then her file opened. Her breathing slows. Not panic. Peace. Nurse Tina. You started something. Amara. I only finished what's been waiting. She looks toward the hallway as Dr. Klein enters. Dr. Klein. Dr. Daniels. Amara smiles faintly. Mara, it's been a while. Vera, the chief, blinks, caught between reprimand and respect. Dr. Klein. You should rest. Amara, resting doesn't rebuild systems. Klein studies her, then nods slowly. Dr. Klein. Then let's rebuild. Together. They shake hands. Quiet. Firm cut to Inti hospital lobby. Same day. The morning crowd flows like a river. The same benches, same vending hum, but something's changed. The triage desk now displays a new message in bright blue. Zero delay policy. Every voice counts. Behind it, Nurse Tina logs in under a new dashboard, Amara's pilot interface. A beat of silence. Then an email ping echoes through the hospital system. Subject, Policy Revision 1.0, Equity in Response Protocols. From Dr. Amara Daniels. Patient Safety Council NT. Ear corridor continuous. Doctor. Henderson walks out of Bay 4, eyes bloodshot. He pauses by a vending machine, staring at his reflection in the glass. His badge suddenly looks heavy. He exhales, then unclamps it and places it gently atop the machine. Behind him, a patient laughs softly, alive and well. Int Bay 4. Final shot. Amara leans back. Window light warming her face. She opens her folio once more, not to defend, but to update. Inside, she slides a single photo. A group of nurses smiling under a banner that reads, "We see you." Her lips curve into a calm, knowing smile. Not of victory, but restoration. A glass-walled conference room floats above the city like a ship at dawn. The skyline bleeds golden grey, and tension hums louder than the HVAC. A single folder sits at the center of the polished table. The incident report, Amara Daniels. Board members murmur in low tones. Laptops glow. News articles flicker on their screens. Doctor ignores black girl's emergency, then her file opened. Dr. Vera Klein stands at the head of the table, spine straight, expression unreadable. Dr. Klein. Before we begin, understand this. This is not a PR storm. It's a reckoning. A murmur ripples. Board member Thabern 1. With respect, Dr. Klein, we can't just hand her the narrative. Dr. Klein. She doesn't want the narrative. She wants the truth documented. She gestures toward the doorway. The frosted glass slides open. Amara Daniels steps in. No lab coat now, just tailored simplicity. Grey blazer, hospital wristband still on, and that black folio under her arm. Half the board rises instinctively. The other half fumbles to look neutral. Dr. Klein, Dr. Amara Daniels, Research Fellow, National Cardiac Resilience Initiative, co-chair of the Patient Safety Council. Amara nods politely. Amara. Good morning. Clothes on. The folio, she sets it down and opens it. The silver emblem glints again, a quiet herald of authority. Inside, the pages are meticulously organized. Government seals, medical charts, timestamps, legal signatures. Amara. This, taps a page, and is page 2, a projector hums. On the wall, her credentials expand in blue light. Research Participant Class A. Critical Condition Monitoring. Dr. Amara Daniels is authorized to evaluate field compliance under federal patient safety protocols. A collective inhale fills the room. Board member number 2, so you're both the patient and the auditor. Amara, I'm the reminder. A pause. The phrasing lands heavy. Int boardroom. Continuous. Amara walks slowly around the table, her voice steady and surgical. Amara, when I volunteered for this trial, I signed a consent that required real-world data, not staged simulations. That means I live with the same vulnerability I study. She stops behind a young administrator, Maya, early 30s, who's watching with awe. Amara, contied. I didn't want special treatment. I wanted accurate treatment. She clicks her remote. The screen changes. Charts of response times by race and gender. A red bar towers over the rest. Amara, contidy. Average wait time for young black women presenting chest pain in this hospital, 87 minutes. White males of the same age, 32. A collective shift in seats. Some avert their eyes. Board member 33, these are anonymized numbers. Amara, not anymore. She clicks again. The next slide, her own chart. Her timestamps. The security footage still of her standing in the lobby, calm but sweating. Amara, contied. I became data last night. The silence that follows is absolute. Even the city noise outside feels afraid to intrude. Cut to flashback into a lobby last night. Quick montage, the doctor's dismissive smirk. The crowd's laughter. The red flags on the screen. Amara's steady hand on the folio. Amara, VO, bias doesn't always scream. Sometimes it smiles. Back to boardroom Amara. The question isn't whether you saw me. Here's why you didn't believe me. Dr. Klein, softly. And what do you want now? Amara exhales Amara transparency. Mandatory bias retraining. An oversight log for ER triage decisions. And his resignation. She doesn't look at Dr. Henderson, who sits at the far end of the table, hands folded, pale as the papers in front of him. He opens his mouth, but no sound emerges. Dr. Klein to Henderson. Do you have anything to say for yourself? He swallows. Dr. Henderson, I misjudged the presentation. Amara, you didn't misjudge. You dismissed. Her words slice clean, not cruel. Henderson lowers his eyes. Cut to NT hospital corridor. Later nurse. Tina stands by a vending machine, phone in hand, watching the live stream of the board meeting. Staff gather around, whispering, Nurse 1, she's dismantling the whole system. Nurse 2, no, she's rebuilding it. NT boardroom. Continuous. Amara leans forward. Amara, this hospital's motto is care without condition. Yet conditions decide care. I didn't need sympathy. I needed competence. She slides a final page forward. Policy draft, immediate reform protocols. Amara, contidy. Sign this. Make it binding. The room hesitates. Board member Darv 1. We'll need legal review. Dr. Klein. No. We'll need courage. She reaches for the pen. One by one, hands follow. The sound of pens scratching on paper feels like the beginning of something new. Henderson stares at the document, then at Amara. His voice breaks. Dr. Henderson. I didn't mean to hurt you. Amara. You didn't hurt me. You exposed yourself into hospital lobby. Afternoon, the press conference begins. Cameras flash. Reporters line the mezzanine like a jury. Dr. Klein steps to the podium. Dr. Klein. Last night, one of our own doctors failed to uphold the standard of care. Today we begin the reform he made necessary. The crowd murmurs. Dr. Klein, contidy. We are grateful to Dr. Amara Daniels, whose courage reminded us what medicine truly means. Polite applause. Then the cameras pivot as Amara approaches the microphone. Amara at the podium, no notes. Just composure. Amara. I didn't come here to destroy a hospital. I came to save the people it forgot. She pauses. Flashbulbs pop like applause. Amara conted justice in medicine isn't about punishment. It's about memory. Every reform we sign today remembers a patient who wasn't believed. She glances toward Henderson in the back. Security standing beside him. Amara, contidy. And from today onward, belief will be standard procedure. The crowd rises in spontaneous applause, not thunderous, but sustained, Honest XT Hospital. Evening golden light spills across the building's glass facade. Workers begin replacing the old slogan banner. The new one unfurls slowly. Every voice counts. Care begins with listening. Amara watches from the steps, hair loose now, face serene. Nurse Tina joins her, holding 2 coffees. Nurse Tina. You just rewrote the rulebook. Amara, no. I just made them read it. They share a quiet smile as reporters call her name from below the steps. Nurse Tina. You going to answer? Amara eventually, but for now. Silence speaks louder. She turns away, heading inside as the hospital lights flicker to life, blue, steady, equal. Rain lashes the windows. The same room where Amara once stood now feels colder, smaller, as if the walls have learned shame. The screen at the front reads, Internal Review, Dr. Henderson, Case 11B. A row of officials, Ethics Committee, Legal Counsel and Dr. Vera Klein, sit like a tribunal, folders open. Cameras record. At the center table sits Dr. Henderson, hands clasped, knuckles white across from him. Dr. Amara Daniels, recovered, sharp, dressed in charcoal gray. Her folio is gone. She doesn't need it anymore. Her presence is its own document. Dr. Klein, Dr. Henderson. This is a formal hearing to address violations of protocol and patient neglect resulting in endangerment. You've been given counsel. You understand the gravity of these charges. Dr. Henderson, yes ma'am. Dr. Klein, proceed. Dr. Daniels. Amara rises. The room stills. Even the rain seems to hesitate at Amara. On the night in question, I arrived with active cardiac symptoms. My vitals were dismissed. My medical history was ignored. When I advocated for myself, I was labeled anxious. She glances at the camera lens. Amara, Contidi. That word, anxious, has been used to bury more truth than any diagnosis code. The stenographer's fingers pause for half a beat before continuing to type, Amara, Contidi. I did not come here for revenge. I came for repair. Dr. Henderson. He shifts, voice hoarse. Dr. Henderson. Dr. Daniels, I made assumptions. I was tired. We were understaffed. Amara and I was dying. The words hit like a defibrillator shock, a beat. The silence that follows hums with electricity. Amara, Contidi. Fatigue doesn't excuse negligence. Bias doesn't announce itself. It hides behind busy. You didn't see me because you didn't expect competence from me, Dr. Henderson. That's not fair, Amara. Neither was what happened. Cut to interviewing room, same time behind glass. Nurse Tina, orderlies and junior doctors watch the live feed. The room buzzes with quiet awe. Nurse Tina. She's not prosecuting. She's teaching. Junior doctor. That's what makes it sting more in boardroom. Continuous. Amara sits. Calm again. Legal counsel Dr. Henderson. Would you like to make a statement before the committee decides? He nods, clears his throat, eyes wet. Dr. Henderson. I failed her. I failed my oath. He looks up, finally meeting Amara's gaze. Dr. Henderson. Contidi. When the screen showed her credentials, I thought I was ruined. But what ruined me wasn't the file. It was realizing she gave me every chance to do the right thing, and I didn't take it. The room stays silent. Even Amara doesn't move. Dr. Henderson, Contidi. If resignation restores trust, I accept it. Dr. Klein, she nods solemnly. Dr. Klein, effective immediately. Your license with this institution is revoked, pending state review. Security will escort you after this session. Henderson nods, quiet, almost relieved. He stands, unclips his badge, and places it gently on the table. The metallic click echoes. Final int, hospital atrium. Moments later, Henderson walks through the lobby where it all began, the same benches. The same vending hum, the same air. But now there's something new above the triage desk. A glowing digital screen titled Equity Response Dashboard. Each patient name replaced by numbers. Colors, times, tracking weight gaps and outcomes transparently. As Henderson walks out, the screen updates bias alerts, 0 compliance rate, 100%. He pauses, reading it one last time. Then he leaves int staff auditorium. Same-day hospital staff crowd in, filling every seat. There's a podium at the front with a banner. Accountability is care. Dr. Amara Daniels steps up. The applause starts small, then swells until the floor vibrates. She raises a hand, waits for silence. Amara, this isn't about one doctor. It's about a system that made it easy to fail quietly. She paces slowly, deliberate. Amara countered. Every one of us came into medicine to heal. Somewhere along the way, the hierarchy became louder than the heart. A young nurse dabs her eyes. Amara countered. We fix that not with fear, but with accountability. Bias training won't save lives. Listening will. Protocols won't replace empathy. Equity will. She gestures toward the crowd, the faces lit by phone screens recording her words. Amara countered. I want you to remember this. The next time someone says, it's just anxiety, ask yourself, what if it's not? Silence. Then thunderous applause. Int hospital lobby. Later that night, the crowd disperses. The lobby lights dim. Amara stands alone before the glass doors. Nurse Tina joins her, holding 2 cups of tea. Nurse Tina. That speech will be mandatory viewing for every new hire by morning. Amara good. I'm tired of reform living in footnotes. They sip in silence for a while. Outside, rain has stopped. The city lights reflect off puddles like second chances. Nurse Tina. You could have walked away. Gone public. Written a book, Amara. And let the system stay broken. No, I'd rather fix it from within, even if it means sitting in the same room as what almost killed me. Int media room, cutaway montage. A journalist recording the headline, Hospital implements equity dashboard following advocate's ordeal. Tweets trending, care without bias and tank Amara effect. A clip of Henderson quietly leaving a review board hearing, no cameras chasing him. Just silence.xt hospital. Dawn Amara steps outside, coat draped over her shoulders. The horizon glows orange-pink. A janitor unlocks the main doors, nods respectfully. Janitor. Morning. Togamara morning. She watches the first patients arrive. A mother guiding a child. A man in uniform. A teenager scrolling nervously. Each is greeted by a nurse who looks them in the eyes. Amara, V.O. Justice doesn't erase pain. It repurposes it. Turns wounds into warning signs, scars into standards. She smiles faintly as the hospital lights flicker, fully awake. Int. Admin office. Later doctor. Klein signs a document. Equity Response Protocol ratified. She places it into a folder labeled Amara Daniels Initiative. A plaque waits beside it. Newly engraved. In honor of Dr. Amara Daniels. For reminding us that care begins with listening XT, hospital rooftop. Sunset Amara stands alone, wind teasing her hair. Her folio, weathered, worn, rests open on a ledge. She removes a page, the one marked Incident 11B, folds it neatly, and tucks it into her coat pocket. Nurse Tina, OS. Leaving something behind. Amara only what's been learned. She closes the folio and sets it down. The wind flips it open one last time, revealing a blank page, ready for whatever comes next. The hospital looks reborn. Morning sunlight filters through new glass panels engraved with 3 words, equity, dignity, care. Children play near the fountain. A banner reads, The Amara Daniels Equity Summit, Year 1. A brass band tunes up near the entrance. Inside, the lobby hums with life, warmth, and pride. The energy is unrecognizable from the sterile quiet of a year ago. Inti, hospital lobby. Continuous the once cold triage desk is now a welcoming center, lined with green plants and digital displays showing real-time wait times and equity metrics. The new system, the Daniels dashboard, glows across the wall and public. Transparent, unflinching. Nurse Tina, now Director of Patient Advocacy, adjusts her badge proudly. Nurse Tina, to an intern. If a patient waits more than 15 minutes without triage, the system pings my phone. That's not pressure, that's progress. Intern, smiling. They said this was impossible. Nurse Tina. They said the same about heart transplants once. Inti, auditorium. Day. The event is full. Medical students, residents, board members, and journalists fill the seats. On the stage, Amara Daniels. She stands beneath a soft spotlight, wearing a simple navy suit. Her presence is calm, commanding, the embodiment of earned respect. Behind her, The screen shows footage from that fateful night in the ER. The confrontation, the red banners, the crowd's silence. Then the screen fades into new footage. Nurses assisting patients of all backgrounds with care. Speed and compassion. Amara, steady, heartfelt. 1 year ago, a single failure reminded us that silence isn't neutrality. It's complicity. She glances toward the front row, where Dr. Vera Klein sits. Proud, and Nurse Tina smiles through tears. Amara, content. We rebuilt this place, not by adding walls, but by breaking them. Bias doesn't vanish in meetings. It dissolves when people see each other. Applause grows. Not thunderous, reverent. Hospital hallway. Later students line up beside a new glass wall inscribed with names. Plaque title, Patient Safety Council, founding members. At the top, Dr. Amara Daniels, a young black girl no older than 16, stares at the plaque in awe. She clutches a notebook labeled Future Surgeon. Amara walks up quietly behind her. Amara, you like the wall? Young girl, it's more than a wall. It's proof, Amara. Proof of what? Young girl. That people like me can stand here one day with our names up there too. Amara smiles softly, eyes misting. Amara. Then keep your pen ready. INT classroom, afternoon. Mara guest lectures to a group of medical residents. On the board, listening as intervention. Amara. What's the first step in diagnosis? Student. The patient's history. Amara. No. The first step is believing it. The room falls quiet. The truth so simple it hurts. INT. Dr. Klein's office. Evening doctor. Klein reviews quarterly reports. Metrics glow on her screen. Patient satisfaction, plus 48% ER weight gap, 62%. Reported bias incidents. 0. She smiles faintly. On her shelf sits Amara's old folio, now framed behind glass with a small plaque. The book that opened the hospital's eyes. Dr. Klein, softly. To herself. Justice works best when it keeps the lights on into hospital atrium. Same time a wall-sized installation, called the memory panel, cycles through names and photos of past patients who once filed bias complaints, now honored as teachers of reform. Each tile glows gold as a robotic voice reads softly, "Every name here changed how we care." Nurse Tina watches, her reflection merging with theirs. XT. Hospital rooftop. Night the city stretches wide and electric. Amara stands under the stars with a small group of interns. She holds a candle. They each light theirs from hers. Intern 1, what do we call this tradition? Amara, a restart. She lifts her candle. Amara, contidi. Every flame here means someone was seen and believed. They raise their candles. Below, the hospital lights form a mosaic of color. Glowing in rhythm with the heartbeat monitor on the new tower sign. NT, media room, montage. News reports call it the Daniels model. Hospitals across the country adopt similar dashboards. Medical schools add equity in clinical response as a required course. A podcast episode titled "The Night a File Changed Medicine" plays over images of nurses smiling, patients laughing. Voice-over, Amara. Justice isn't a verdict. It's a daily practice, measured in minutes, breaths, and heartbeats. XT. Hospital courtyard, morning, full circle. Amara walks through the crowd after the summit. The young girl from earlier runs up holding a printed certificate. Young girl Dr. Daniels. I got accepted to the pre-med mentorship program. Amara grinning. Then you're officially part of the system that listens. She hugs her gently, then steps back to look around. Children laugh by the fountain. Nurses greet patients by name. The atmosphere hums with humanity. A breeze flips a nearby banner, revealing a quote printed beneath her name. Respect isn't requested. It's recognized. Dr. Amara Daniels int. Hospital lobby. Final moments. Amara pauses before the equity dashboard. She taps the screen. All clear. The system pings softly, a green glow spreading across the wall like sunrise. Nurse Tina, smiling, walking up. Quiet day, Amara. That's the loudest victory. They share a look, the silent understanding of two women who turned humiliation into harmony. XT. Hospital steps. Sunset Amara descends the steps, coat fluttering. Reporters call her name, but she waves them off with a smile. This story no longer belongs to headlines. She reaches the curb, pauses, and looks back. The hospital gleams golden in the setting sun. The new banner catches the light. Every voice counts. Care begins with listening. Her reflection merges with the glass doors. Half doctor, half survivor, entirely leader, she whispers. Almost to herself, Amara, now they hear us.